Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talking with T. I'm your host, Chris Tatarian, and today we're going to be staying on the island of Mortal Kombat. And this time, the fate of the world is going to be decided by a female competitor, one whose name has risen very highly in the Mortal Kombat scene, and a threat that you do not want to run up against in tournament. I'm talking about Baeleena. Thank you very much for being on the podcast, Baeleena. Good to have you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the invitation. I am very excited.
Yeah, when I was talking to Rewind a couple of days ago, he had mentioned that you would be an amazing guest on the show. And I don't know why I hadn't thought of it before, but I'm super glad that you were down to do it. And we're going to get into your story and competitive scene, all of that. So let's dive right into the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about was you growing up in Puerto Rico. If I'm not mistaken, you were born and raised in Puerto Rico, beautiful island, beautiful people. How is it that you find Mortal Kombat and start this journey of competitive gaming?
Okay, so I am Puerto Rican. My parents are Puerto Rican and I was raised in Puerto Rico. I was normally born in the Bronx in New
Oh,
York.
okay.
Um how I found Mortal Kombat was thanks to my cousins. They were really into gaming, and you know how like Puerto Ricans like they have big family. They're known for having like this big huge
Of
family.
course.
Um I used to always hang out with my cousins, which were normally boys. I was like super tomboy. And we used to just be in the rooms and just gaming all day, like, and for some reason I just found like a big amount of attraction towards fighting games. And I think like the game that stuck with me the most was definitely Mortal Kombat.
Oh, was it like when you said that you were raised as a tomboy, like were you playing sports as
Mhm.
well, like soccer or anything like that? Or
No, I was just major like I was always with the boys. Like I didn't have like that much female girlfriends, and like I was never like you I did have like a few girlfriends, but I just had more fun with the guys. Like I was always playing we were playing tag, we were playing I played with Hot Wheels, like I was like strictly with the boys. Like when my family like had like gatherings and stuff, like you would never see me with my girl cousins. You would see me like with my boy cousins
Mm.
all the time.
And then that led you into playing video games with your boy cousins, and then you somehow find Mortal Kombat. Like, was that a game that your
Yeah.
cousins played, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I had a cousin that's around my age, and he was really into fighting games, and he was the one that basically introduced me to fighting games. Like I used to play a lot of like Smash Bros. I played Killer Instinct. I played basically pretty much every fighting game I could play. But yes, for some reason just Mortal Kombat was the one that like grabbed my attention. I don't know if it was like characters or the play style, like just stuck with me.
Which Mortal Kombat was it?
It was MK3 was basically the first Mortal Kombat I played.
Yeah, that's the best one. That's the one that
Mhm.
caught my attention as well.
Yeah.
Did you see Sonya? Is that the moment where? Because I know you love Sonya. Is that the moment
Mhm.
where you saw Sonya and you were like, "Yeah, this is my character"?
Yeah, I loved her. Like she immediately like was my character. Even though my gamer tag is based off Melina,
Ah.
Sonya was always my number one.
And then, like, how old were you when this happened?
Oh my god. I was like 4 or 5.
Oh, damn, 4 or 5, and then you were seeing, like, the gore and whatnot. Did your parents know that you were getting involved with Mortal Kombat at that time? Like, how did they feel about you playing those types of games?
Um, my mom has never been like super strict, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't aware of how like bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, like, once a parent finds out, then it kinda just goes out the window unless they don't really care, but especially for, like, a female, it's like and that time
Mhm.
period, like, when I was growing up, women didn't really play video games like that, so
Nope.
how did you grow into Mortal Kombat and then find the scene? How did you find the scene?
The way I found the scene was, like, through YouTube. Like, I saw, like I would see tournaments and I would keep up with them, but I never understood, like, how they worked and whatnot.
Mhm.
And, I always saw Losty Girl on YouTube, and I was like, "Bro, like, she is so good at this game, like, I just wanna be like her, I wanna be good at this game, I wanna beat some butt and, like, be sweaty." So,
Yeah.
like yeah, I remember, like, Losty and Infinity were definitely, like, the biggest inspirations for me because I rarely saw girls in tournaments. And seeing them being so good at the game just made me wanna make that my goal. So, I started, like, way back in MKX, like, with the streaming
Mhm.
and all that. I was pretty good. I think, like, I would've done so good if I started back in MKX, but, I had, like, a little situation where, I had, like, a really bad harasser,
Okay.
and that person kinda scared me off because the harassment was pretty bad,
Damn.
and I got spooked. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this, like, I don't wanna deal with people on their internet," like so I, like, held it off, like, for a bit, and
Mhm.
then I would still game, I was still playing it, playing the games, online and stuff, but I stopped streaming because I was really scared. And then during COVID, um, because of my job, like, I wasn't able to work because I work at a salon. So, I wasn't able to work for a while, and I already had the equipment to stream and whatnot, so I was like, "You know what? Imma give it a try," and this is when MK11, like, recently had just came out. So, I started streaming and had, like, a few, like, very small amount of viewers consistently, and randomly, like, I would get people, like, go in there and be like, "Oh, like, you're really good at this game, you should definitely try out for a tournament."
Yeah.
But for my previous experiences, um, I didn't want to because I was scared. So, I didn't wanna be, like, recognized or none of that because like, it was so scary to me,
Mm.
and I had, like, 2 very close friends of mine, which, one of them was Herbs and Grim. They basically pushed me to play in a it was an all women's tournament,
Oh, okay.
and that was my first tournament, and I think I got, like, 2nd or 3rd.
Was that online or was that like an offline tournament?
No, it was online. It
Online,
was
okay.
online. Yeah, and then I enjoyed it, and I kept, like, playing in a few women tournaments, and
Mhm.
then I think, like, with my 3rd tournament, I already, like, had a sponsor reaching out to me.
Okay, so I mean, you touched up on a couple of things that I wanted to dive deeper into,
Mhm.
but let's
Okay.
no, that was perfect. I mean,
Mhm.
when it came to you playing MKX, you're saying that was the Mortal Kombat where you actually started playing because of your inspirations from Infinity
Yes.
and who was the other gamer that you said?
Lost it, girl.
Losty Girl. So
Mhm.
those were your inspirations to be like, okay, well, maybe I could be kicking some ass too. And then you're streaming MKX, and I'm assuming you're not really entering online tournaments at the time, right? You're just kind of playing ranked match, or how is that?
Yeah. I played ranked, and I actually was in a, clan for a bit. I was in NWO, and I was in, Kinetic
Uh huh.
for a bit.
I remember Kinetic. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, we did a few, like, online battles and stuff like that, but, like, I never dived into tournaments or, anything deeper outside of that.
Okay. And then you're gaining some notoriety from the online scene. You're obviously streaming at this time, and you're building up your fan base. Now,
Mhm.
around this time, um, you said that you had a harasser or a stalker. Was it just one person, or were you finding that the more you were streaming, the more weirdos were popping up inside of your stream, or was it like one specific person that really put that fear in you gaining more notoriety?
I would normally encounter a few weird people, but this person was, like, really bad. Like, it was, like, full harassment, like and it sucks because, it started as a friend, and I met this person when I actually got recruited for, Kinetic. So I met this person that was in that clan,
Okay.
and we became friends, and, like, he would teach me how to play the like, he taught me a lot of, like, things that I need to get better at with Melina and stuff. Um, but yeah, it became like I started seeing like a lot of red flags and like I ignored it a lot because I was like not aware of like how wild and crazy people can be in the internet.
Yeah.
Like I've always like been super like distant from the internet.
Yeah.
So that was like my first like big experience with the internet. So it was like very traumatic because this person was literally just like even calling my job and like
Oh, wow.
threatening me and like it got really bad.
Okay, so this was the next topic that I wanted to get into,
Mhm.
which was, experiences in the FGC, such as weird interactions. Personally, I've known Sherry for a long time. I know that she's had literal stalkers and very weird people contact her. So I wanted you to kind of get into the space for women in the scene. And do you have any steps slash ideas that could be taken by TOs or just the social media space and the conduct of most of the men that could help alleviate the stigmas and weird behaviors? Because, let's be honest, there's a lot of weird men in the community. And, even I've experienced a lot of weirdos as well. I just feel like for some reason the space is heavily dominated by men. It's a male heavy
Mhm.
dominated space. So any woman that enters the scene, a lot of these men who don't interact with women on a normal natural basis, who don't even know how to flirt with women or anything like that, they see somebody that they're attracted to or that they like, and then their caveman brain goes in and they don't really know how to
Mhm.
interact. So do you mind sharing some of those experiences that you had, if it's not too traumatic for you, from the person that we were talking about earlier, and then kind of go into the topic?
Okay. So yeah, like I said, this person I met him online. We used to game a lot and we became really good friends and we would like game every day and then I started seeing like red flags in terms of like back in the PlayStation 3, if you were like in a group chat, like if you're in a call and in a party,
Hmm.
you'd be able to see the people that were in there. So like every time I was like with my friends, which obviously were all guys, because I normally didn't know any like women in the scene like that back
Yeah,
then.
there wasn't many, to be honest. There
Yeah.
really wasn't.
Yeah, so, like, it was a lot of guys, I was always with the guys, and, like, he would throw in comments like, "Oh, I see you're hanging out with this person now," like, "Blah, blah, blah, it's whatever."
Mm.
I was like I'll be like, "Okay, that's a little weird." And then, like, he would, like, kinda get upset with me, and it, like, happened a lot often, and, like, I needed to, like, assure him, like, like, I have a boyfriend, back then I was in a 9-year relationship. So
Wow.
I would like let him know that like, I'm taken, I'm in a relationship and it was like it became like a bit weird, but then like I would ignore it because I'm the type of person that like I have this thing where like I always try to see like the best out of people.
Yeah, you give them benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he was in my clan and he was cool. I enjoyed like hanging out with him. And he helped me a lot in a lot of situations and sadly, right? I feel like this whole like harassment came from like me. Like I had a little issue with my internet and he helped me out with it. And that's like when the ugly harassment started because this man was doing things that I didn't even know were possible. Like, he was,
Okay.
like, hacking my social medias. He was, like, um it was, like, so traumatic. I can't even, like, explain how traumatic it was because, I didn't even know that was possible off of you, like, help like, trying to, because I thought he wanted to help me, you know? So, like, I trusted him and he kinda, like, took advantage of the fact that I was, like, so unaware of all of the things that could come with this. Um, so yeah, like, he would DDoS me if I, like, streamed, like, he would threaten me saying that, oh, like, he had, like, personal stuff about me,
Mm.
and if, I were to, like, stream, he would, like, post them. He would harass my family members. He would call my mom. He would like find them on social media. He would message them. He would like it was like a complete shit show. Like this man would call my job. Like I remember one time I was just like at the salon and my boss comes to me. He's like, yo, like there's somebody on the phone asking for you. And it's this man.
Jesus.
I'm like, I was, like, confused. I was like, "The man?" Because I normally have, like, women clients. So, like, he was like, "Yeah, this is a man." So, like, when I pick up, it was him, and, like, I swear to God, like, the hairs of my hands and my body, like, were just it was insane. It was,
Yeah.
like, so scary, and that's when I decided to, like, step away because I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm not trying to deal with this," and this person continued to harass me for years and years after that, and I even went to the police and, like, I wasn't able to do anything because I didn't have information of this person, and I was in Puerto Rico, and this person was from the States,
Mm.
and, like, wasn't much I can do unless I would, like, travel to press charges on this person. So, like, I literally had to endure all that harassment for years. Like, it was about, like, 3 to 4 years.
Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, the
It
things
was
that you're listing, it's crazy. It's literally
mhm.
psychotic. I mean, you feel like someone's always watching you. It's a literal stalker, and it
Yeah.
sounds like he was obsessed with you.
Yeah,
Calling
that was,
someone's
like
work. That's calling their family members, and then that's just insanity.
yeah. That was, like, basically what it was because, like, I couldn't, like, understand his reasonings or, like, why he would be, like, so obsessed. Like, I can understand, like, you liking somebody
Yeah.
and, like but, like, there's boundaries, and this person, like, had no like, he didn't care.
He didn't understand the concept of boundaries, and even though you tried to set him straight, saying like, "Hey, I got a boyfriend. This is not appropriate. Like, you're just a friend," and he was not okay with that. He decided to cross it multiple times.
Yeah, it was, like, really bad.
At what point did you tell him like, "This is too much. You need to stop contacting me"?
I always told him, and he never he didn't care. He, like, the reason like, when he stopped, it was when I basically became very known in the scene and, like, I had a big people following me and
Mm,
big people, like, respecting me.
yeah,
That's when he decided to stop because I feel like he was afraid of the fact that, like, I had so many people on my back that they would definitely defend me or, like, do something or help me out with the situation.
yeah. Okay, so after all of this happens, actually, if you don't mind me asking, like,
Mhm.
what is your boyfriend saying at that time period? Like, how is because he's seeing you distraught, he's seeing you go through this. Like, what's going on there? How did that affect your relationship?
It actually affected my relationship, like, so much because, um, he was, like, threatening me, like and this person, like, hacked my Snapchat and my Twitter, so, like, I knew he had hacked my Snapchat and my Twitter because I was getting, like, while he was doing it, I was getting, like, the notifications on my email that somebody was trying to, like, get in and
Yeah.
whatnot, so, like,
Yeah.
I know he hacked it because he even stayed with my Snapchat, and I was never able to recover my Snapchat after
Mm.
he, hacked it. Um, so it became, like it was so scary because, he would, like, threaten me so much, it was like he would basically force me to talk to him or, like, keep in touch with him because if not, like, he would, um he would message, my boyfriend's mother, he would message my mom, he would threaten about posting stuff on, Instagram, he would message my cousins, like, my close cousins, because I
Yeah.
have, like, 2 cousins that, like, would stay at my house, and he knew that, like, he knew everything, like, it was so scary because he knew, like, so much about me off of me just trusting the wrong person, and it affected the relationship because, he would see obviously, he would see me, like, this it took a toll on my mental health, like, I was, like, depressed, I was scared of losing my job because he would threaten to, post stuff in on my job's Facebook, um he would, like yeah, it was, like, so stressful,
Wow.
and obviously, like, my boyfriend felt so I mean, my ex-boyfriend at the time, like, he felt so, useless, like, he couldn't do anything, like, he was trying to help me, he couldn't do anything, and then, like, he was being harassed too because this person was calling him too, like and, like, it became so scary. It became so scary, and, like, I do think, like, that was, like, a big reason on why, like, my previous relationship ended because it caused so much trouble and things in it.
Yeah, that sounds like a traumatic experience for both of you and just
Mhm.
something that's very hard to heal from. Um, I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that story. Maybe we can try to, you know, answer the next part of that question was, do you feel like there's things that could be done amongst the social media space, which is very, very toxic? And do you feel like things could be done by TOs as well? Because, you guys are definitely the minority in the scene. I would
Mhm.
say like it's what, 99% male? If I had to put a
Yes.
number on it, it would be like 99% male. So what have you thought of anything, or what could women do to feel safer, and what should men be doing as well to for you guys to feel safer?
I feel like the scene is so big and there's like so small amount of people willing to get involved in stuff like this.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people should definitely put a little more effort in trying to make women feel comfortable and safe because this is something that happens so often, like, it happens so often. Like, even though I only spoke about one person,
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that it was just that person. Like, I consistently get emails of people trying to lure me in for fake tournaments and, podcasts and stuff like that in person, like and these emails look professionally done. Like, if somebody was not, like, aware they would definitely fall for that, and, like, I feel like it just basically comes to people, like, sticking together because I feel like a lot of people ignore these stuff, like or they just don't wanna talk about it, or they don't wanna get involved, or so they ignore the situations, and on top of that, I've been seeing a lot of, um women and cases that are being neglected. Like if a woman is telling you she's being harassed or this person did something to to her or whatever, like why are we still allowing these people to go to tournaments? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, this is a very touchy subject. Um, do you feel like if a woman were to say this person is bothering me, that they should also provide some sort of evidence, or else? because that's a very thin line of, what if somebody is lying or what if somebody's telling the truth?
Mhm.
You don't really know until there's evidence, right? So where does that fall into the discussions? Because I've been in the scene for a very long time, and I've seen some women say that someone was bothering them, but then they weren't able to provide the proof, or they were lying to it, lying about the
Yeah.
situation, which we've seen happen before. But I've also seen situations where certain men have walked away scot free because nothing was done when a woman was saying, "Hey, this person is bothering me." Like,
Yeah.
how do we balance the situation, and how do we make it more serious? What guidelines should be set in place, do you think?
This is a hard one because I know that there's people that will always abuse some type of power. And if a woman feels like they have some type of power, and I'm not saying all women, because
Mhm.
I know like a lot of women are good, but there are also bad women just equally as same as there are bad men.
Yeah.
So it's like a very complicated like situation because I do feel like you should definitely um have some type of proof. But again, like sometimes what if this person doesn't have proof
Yeah.
and we're avoiding trying to help somebody because that person doesn't have proof, like that makes me feel like I when I was going through that, like I told a few of my online friends they couldn't do anything. They couldn't Some people didn't believe me. Um we couldn't do anything. Like
Yeah.
so it makes me feel like I don't want women to go through what I went through because I didn't have anybody. So like it's a situation that sucks because it's like there's no winning
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah. I was just about to say that. Yeah. It's very difficult. You can't like, it's a very hard answer to find, you know? It's a very difficult answer to find. I just wish that we lived in a society where very creepy men and weirdos just didn't do what they do, and provide you
Yeah.
guys with the environment where you can feel safe hanging out with your guy friends. Because let's be honest, I mean, there's a lot of weirdos in the FGC, a lot of weird men in the FGC, but there's a lot of good men too that,
Yes,
especially
that is
now,
true.
that will try to, you have a lot of friends, like you said, and obviously your boyfriend is Rewind. I'm sure he'll be the first person to stick up and do something if somebody were to bother you. I just hope that maybe we don't have the answer right now, but I do hope that in the future it could be more of a safe space for women, because we definitely need more women in the scene. Because like people like you, Cuddlecore, Sherry, Infinity, you guys are pillars, and I'm sure you guys inspire a ton of young women that want to enter the scene and kick ass the way that you do. So I hope that it leads towards uh, a better like guidelines, better safety environment for you guys. And I really do appreciate you having, you know, I appreciate your vulnerability in this conversation, because I know it's a difficult one. And like you said, it's not just that one person who was bothering you. I have friends that are in the scene as well. I know pretty much all of the women in the Street Fighter scene and some of the MK as well. And the stories that, that I get told, it is literally the definition of batshit crazy, because I just don't understand how people can be that way. I mean, just to give a little weird experience from my end, I mean, I've had people know that I'm at a tournament and then randomly send me naked pictures of themselves, and and be like, "Hey, I know you're here. Like, let's hook up and this and that." I'm like, "Bro, what is wrong with you? Like, what is literally wrong with you?" So I know it. Then nobody wants to see anybody's like junk like that. Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
that is literally crazy. So I don't know. I just hope that it could be a better environment for all of us, and we can respect one another as human beings. Um,
Yeah.
let's move towards a more positive side now. I really appreciate uh, that respect in the conversation as well. You mentioned women only tournaments. How do you feel about women only tournaments? Do you think they're beneficial to women to feel safe to enter the scene that way? You guys can build friends that way as well, since there's not many of you.
Yeah, well, I have like my mixed feelings off of it. Especially I like for one, like I hold women tournaments very dearly to my heart because thanks to that, it made me comfortable to compete. Um, I was scared to compete. I didn't want the attention. I want none of that. So like, I do think that women tournaments made me want to enter more tournaments and general tournaments. And I do think it is a safe space for those that just want to compete but don't want the exposure or don't want that much of attention towards you, or it could be the other way too. It could be like sometimes there's like women that need a little exposure,
Yeah.
and it depends on like what tournaments you enter. So yeah, like at least the tournaments I played in, I was super welcoming. I met really good friends in there. They're all so lovely. They always treated me super right, and I was always comfortable with them. So I do I do like women tournaments for that that perspective, because you get to experiment what it feels like to be a little more competitive, and um meet the girls in the scene, and get to know them and make friends and feel comfortable without like having to put yourself that much out there.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them as long as like they have good purposes.
Yeah. And you said you host female only tournaments as well.
The team that I'm in, they
Hmm.
host women tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, women tournaments.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I felt like most of the women felt. I know that some don't want women only tournaments, but from what I have seen over the last 15 years, I mean, it's given a lot of spotlight to women. And I remember when Kayane had one in Street Fighter 4, I was like, dang, who the heck is Kayane? And then she went over and kicked all the dudes' asses too. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
the Kayane is insane.
Yeah, like
So,
I said, it depends on like what perspective you see it, because it could be very beneficial. If you're looking at it in a way of growing and not looking at it in, oh, like we're trying to separate the women from the men. Like
yes.
no, I don't think that is the case. I just feel like they're just trying to make us feel more welcoming because we're not very welcomed in the scene,
Mhm.
and that is like something sadly had to go through, because when right away when I was sponsored with a very good team, which was CGL, and that team there was a lot of big names like Ninja Killa was in there, Tweety was in there, Infinity was in there. I don't know if Forever King was in there. I think he was at one point. I'm not sure. So there was a lot of big names in there. Video games, yo, he was in there also. So like a lot of people were not happy that I got sponsored so fast. So like I got a lot of hate from, even including from people that I looked up to, people that I would see in tournaments when I didn't even compete or stream. So it was like very sad to see like a lot of hate on that side
Yeah.
of things, but it is what it is. Yeah, the women made me feel super comfortable in the scene.
It is what it is. Okay, let me ask you about um, tournaments and competing. You are a killer in tournaments, and I remember watching your first match. My first time watching you play in tournament was against Han Rashid at CEO, and Han is a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and I'm like, oh, he's playing against Baeleena. I know who Baeleena is. Like I had seen you in tournaments before. And then uh you almost beat him. Like you were like a
Yeah.
pixel away from beating him. And like Han's a sweat. I love Han,
Mhm.
but he's a sweat. So when I'm watching
Yeah.
that, I'm like, yo, this girl's about to like beat Han. That's crazy. And Han is one of the best MK11 players as well. So I want to ask you about your tournament ritual. I know a lot of players have tournament rituals. Do you have any pre-tournament rituals? And I want to go into another question after that in terms of competition. But yeah, walk me through that pre-tournament ritual.
Well, back then in K11, I was a little more active in terms of competing. Right now I'm like kind of not that much into it, but I would just like I was like so fortunate that I had like really good friends that were really good at the game. So like they basically helped me like level up a lot and learn new things that I didn't know. I think like the best thing you can do, like I'm still learning because I don't have that much of experience compared to like other players. I barely travel to compete. I've competed a few times on Evo, CEO, in a few tournaments. So I'm still like trying to learn how to like control my nerves and all that, but I think like yeah, that's basically it. Like try to like keep the composure. Um I think like if you have a bad matchup, make sure you play sets until you get it down or you get better at it. Study your characters, the characters that give you problems, like go in the lab, like learn what's this thing that's giving you so much problems. That's like how basically I've been working on things right now. Like if I'm playing online, I'm on Combat League and I play something and I'm like, what is this button? What is this? Like I don't know the frames. I don't know if I should press. If I so like right after I'm done fighting a character that I feel like gave me a little bit of a problem, I go to training mode and I figure out how to deal with that situation.
Okay, so
So I feel like that.
you're essentially very active in your training where when you play rank match or set, something bothers you, you hop
Yeah.
right into the lab and you try to figure it out, which is amazing advice. I mean, this is something all pros do at the highest level. So I'm glad you said that. I wanted to ask as well, um, when it comes to the nerves, how, like, what makes you feel comfortable when you play? And when do you start feeling uncomfortable when you play? Like, when do you really feel the nerves kicking in?
So right now, like I have this like mental block where when as soon as somebody tells me, "Oh, you're on stream next," I get so nervous. Like
Yeah.
I don't play how I know I play because I know like I can beat a lot of big people's name. I could like I put in some work. So like sometimes I'd be like playing sets and I'd be playing offline sets at these events with friends, and I would do so good against them, and then I would play on stream, and then I won't do so good because I get nervous. So like, it's something that I'm still kind of like exploring and try to figure out like what I can do to like keep myself a little bit more composed. But it's always like the first game I play on
Oh,
stream.
of
So
course.
let's
Yes.
say
It's always the first game.
the first game that I play on stream, I play is horrible. But then after that, like I just kind of like started calming down and playing way better. And something that's actually like kind of funny to me is that like sometimes if I'm in winners, I lose my composure. I play bad and I get sent to losers. And then when I'm in losers, I play amazing. Like
Mm.
I play amazing. Like I've literally been so close to like I've even like gotten top 8 off of losers. So like it's like I don't even understand what the whole situation with me is, but like that's what I got going on right now.
No, I feel like, I mean, that's something that I struggled with for a very long time as well. And having a platform like Wednesday Night Fights and being able to travel early in my career helped me get used to the pressure of playing on stream. I don't think a lot of people understand how difficult it is to play on stream, knowing that thousands of people are watching you and your own expectations, every little decision becomes like a second guess on your end. And I feel like for you specifically, from what you're telling me, um, maybe you're putting too much pressure on the fact that you're playing on stream and that you're being watched and that every decision that you make could be judged by somebody else that's watching. That's what I personally struggled with when it came to the nerves on stream. And what really helped me out was letting go of the judgment of other people and focusing on adapting to what my opponent is doing. And something that really helped me, which could help you out as well, is to study a lot of sports psychology. Like I was like inspired by listening to Tom Brady and Kobe and the greats just talk about how they zone in. So I feel like if you do some of that, that would really help out with letting go of the pressure. And also, the biggest thing I would say would be to accept that you're going to lose or you're going to win. I think accepting that you're dead already as a soldier will make you a better soldier.
Yeah, no, that's actually I've actually never heard that advice, but I am definitely going to look into it because yeah, that one's like I've never heard that one before.
No, that one's good. I've heard
No,
that a
that
while
one's
back.
good. It's good.
Okay, so let's go into the next question. Do you have anything planned for the women of the FGC to help them gain more exposure and opportunities other than the tournaments that you're hosting? Like, you know what would be really awesome, Baelena, is if there was like a $10,000 tournament for women only, or an event that highlights it, or something like that. Like, have you talked with the other women in your community as to hosting events or any ideas?
Yeah, the issue is like we don't have that many women, at least not in the NRS side. So like it is like a bit difficult to try to get like everybody together.
Hmm.
Um I would love an opportunity to like come for the women in the scene because I feel like we also deserve it. But it just like it's kind of in a weird spot right now, especially like the game. The game is in a weird spot.
Mm,
Um the I don't think like there's not that many girls right now like actively competing in the NRS side. So I think like yeah, it would definitely be a goal and I would love to one day like be part of an all women's tournament with like a big pot money and like um but sadly like right now it's just like I kind of don't see it happening.
yeah, it was just like a handful, really. There isn't many. You also mentioned that the game is in a weird state. How do you feel about the game right now? Why do you say it's in a weird state?
Well, I feel like the game is like the game was released a little too earlier than what it should have. And I feel like we could have had a great game. I do enjoy the game a lot and I like what they were trying to do, but I feel like it was a little bit incomplete and the game is just like having a lot of issues and a few people are just not that motivated to play it and it's kind of sad because we want something too like we want our games to do good. We want our games to like strive like Street Fighter and
Yeah.
like Tekken. Those games are amazing. So like we want the same thing for our games. And like sadly like it's in the recent like few games, it's kind of like short. Like it's not what we want. So like yeah, the game is fun and like it's something different now with the cameos and stuff. But like I enjoy it, but I don't love it. And it kind of sucks that like the game is like not that far off of being great, but the decision making that they are doing with it is kind of not leading to the correct place.
Mm. So what do you want? You said it's not exactly like what you want. What do you personally want out of Mortal Kombat games? Or this one or maybe the next one?
I just want like there's a lot of bugs in this game and there's a lot of like um things going on with it that's just like the normal like I understand sometimes games can be buggy and have situations here. It's normal, but it's been like such amount of things that need to be fixed and haven't gotten fixed and it's like very stressful, and because it's like you're competing for this game, like
Yeah,
you're
for
getting
sure.
hit by bullshit. You're so many things are happening. Like for example, like jump-ins, like my character is just facing the wrong way. I'm like, what the? So like it's sad to see all this stuff happening, and I do have my hopes up because they're so close to making this a really good game, but they just like don't listen to I feel like they listen more to like the casuals instead of listening more to the people that like compete in the game.
That devote their
So yeah,
lives to it.
yeah, like it's like hello, like we just want a few fixes and like the game is set, but like they just keep making a lot of like scrubby stuff and like they're just giving casuals like an easy way out of
Yeah.
the game, So it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. I mean, that's the game I chose to compete in, and hopefully it gets better.
Do you voice these concerns to Rewind as well? Because your boyfriend was on the previous episode talking about hand holding mechanics and how it bothers him as well. Like, how often do you guys talk about the game? And obviously, he's one of the best players of all time in NRS games. Like, how is it? How's that dynamic work?
Well, we were basically we basically complained to each other.
Okay.
Like it's so funny because like I would be playing combat league while we're playing in the tournament, and then if something goes wrong, like he's gonna hear me rant about it for like 10-15 minutes, and it's the same way the other side, like he'd be complaining about the game and I just gotta listen to him, and like but it's cool to have somebody that expresses
Yeah.
the same things you like and like understands you too, because I feel like we understand each other pretty well, and I really like enjoy that about him.
Mm. If you don't mind me asking, like, what is it like having a relationship within the FGC where there's the spotlight on you guys from just interacting on Twitter or just, people seeing you guys as like a FGC couple, something like that? Like, what has that been like now? Because your relationship is in the spotlight. So maybe some things, that you want to be personal or private just are out in the open.
Well, we normally try to keep it like as private as possible, like our private situations and whatever, like we keep it like super separated. I think like that's like the most important thing to like make a relationship succeed in the online, like just keep everything separated and know like what you're doing is a hobby and it's a job, like keep it separated.
Yeah.
But we do enjoy like posting about each other and talking about each other. I think like so far we've gotten like really good a lot of people really like they love us. Like
Yeah.
they enjoy seeing us together, and like his fan base and my fan base, like they all kind of like um are mixed now. Like you'll see people that are like normally come to my streams, you see them in his streams and like vice versa and all that. So like it's cool and I enjoy it because like yeah, like shit. Like I have somebody that likes the same things as me and enjoys the same stuff, and like I enjoy sharing that with people. Um it does have like a little downside, which is like people um let's say if you have people that don't like you or whatever, like they're definitely that's the first thing they're gonna go to because they know like I don't have I'm very private with my life, so a lot of people don't know me, and I'm a completely different person than what I am online. So like people like they can't find a reason or something where they can hurt me. So they've been going straight to my relationship. They've been trying to like yeah, they go straight to it. But outside of that, like I think everything has been like way more positive than negative.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, he was speaking highly of it as well whenever we talk, and it's really good when it's good, and it could also be really bad if it gets bad, because all those
Yeah.
people like are involved. But I
Oh
always
yeah.
see you guys like tweet to each other, and you always have like people commenting on it with like hard eyes and stuff, and saying "love you too," all of that stuff. So it's good that at least the community Like they love seeing you guys together, which is very positive for the relationship as well.
Yeah, I really like that, and I enjoy, like, having somebody I can share all my thoughts and, like, all the things that I like with. Like, he's such a great person, like, he never says no to me. Like, if I tell him, "Get on Overcooked 2," he bet. We get on Overcooked, and we be sweating,
Yeah.
cooking some burgers and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's dope. I mean, like, no, Rewind is a, I've met a ton of people in this community for a very long time. I've seen the worst of the worst, and Rewind is a very genuine person, very caring person, and I'm glad to have met him, and I'm glad to have been so close to him over the last couple of years. So I'm happy to see you guys together as well, and I hope that your relationship flourishes as well. But
Thank you.
let's get into a different topic here. Um, I want to talk about your art because you're an
Mhm.
amazing artist. And
Thank
I've
you.
seen you make art for Big Bird, Angry Bird, Mena, even myself. Like you make art for the biggest names. How did this even happen? You talk about the fact that you worked in a salon. Where does the art come into it? How does Baeleena start doing art?
I've always been a super artistic person, like, I think it all started with my mom. She was really good at drawing, and I would sit down with her at the table and tell her to teach me how to draw bunnies and cats and all that, and she would teach me how to draw them, and then eventually it grew on to, like, every hobby I had to, like, involve art. Like, it's, like, such a big passion of mine. Right now, like, I work at a salon, so, like, I love makeup, I love everything that has to do with hair, nails, like, and that's my way of, like, expressing my abilities in art. And also, like, the drawing, I started off, like, by drawing in, like, notebooks and stuff, and then eventually I started painting, and then I would go on YouTube and I would see a lot of digital art and I would be like, "Damn, that looks so dope. Like I want to learn that." And I'm the type of person that I'm very determined. Like if I want to do something, like I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
So like I'm self-taught. Like I've never actually taken like art classes or anything. And I was determined to learn digital art and I was like, I'm gonna buy an iPad, an iPen, and I'm gonna learn. And I learned how to draw digitally through YouTube and all that. And I still got a lot to learn, but I'm pretty much happy with where I am right now.
No, that's amazing because you mentioned that your mom was an artist as well. I feel like it's just in the DNA. It's got to be something in the DNA
Yeah,
that like kicked in. Okay,
it is.
so
It is.
I have the last question here for you, Bailina. What are your plans for your FGC slash art careers? Because personally, I'd love to see you win a huge major one day. I feel like that would be really dope.
Yeah, I mean, I am right now, like, I don't think I would ever win a major, even though I would love to. But I definitely have a goal that at least I should make a top 8 offline in a major tournament.
Mhm.
That is definitely one of my goals. And in terms of the art, well, I eventually want to have my merch and have like my prints with my art and stickers and all that. Like that is something I am really determined in having eventually.
Well, it helps knowing that you can train with Rewind in order for you to get that top eight one day.
Yeah, he's actually like he be on my ass. He be on my ass.
Yeah.
Like he be every time. Like I played in a tournament and a few days ago in Slayer's tournament,
Mhm.
and I don't know if I lost my first. No, I won one match, and then after that, like I got sent to losers, and I was playing like ridiculous. I was like reverse 3 I'm reverse 3 like three people. And then um I made it to it was really small tournament. But I made it to top 8 whatever, and then I played really good players, and the last person I played was Linky, and like I was so close to winning that tournament.
Mhm.
Like and I just lost to myself. So after that, like I had to hear him, like, he was going at me on Discord, like, I had to hear him for, like, 20 minutes, and I'm like, "Damn, I just lost, and I'm mad at myself," and on top of that, I have to listen to him being all pissed at me for
Well, no, it's good because,
so
he loves you and he's trying to hold you accountable. Like, I'm sure if he's
yeah.
anything like me, you gotta be on the ass for sure. Cause like you gotta tell him you gotta train harder, you gotta do this better, you gotta do that better. I don't like excuses when it comes to training. I can smell excuses and I just don't like it. You gotta give 100%. If you give
Mhm.
100%, then I'm okay with you losing. I'm okay with you winning. As long as I know that you gave 100%. So it's awesome that he at least holds you accountable. And I'm sure that you also do that to him as well.
Yeah, for sure, like, I appreciate that about him so much, even though, like, at the moment, I'm
You
like,
hate
"Oh,
it.
butthurt." It hurts because it's like, "Damn, you're just hitting me right where, like, I just lost to myself," like, and I got a 2nd place, which is just pretty good,
Yeah.
but I could have won that, and, like, on top of that, I have to hear him ramble for a bit, so, like, it's like, damn, it's hurting right now, but, like, I appreciate that so much of him because, like, he obviously, like, wants the best for me, and, he's definitely willing to help me get better, which is like shit. It's like one of the best things I can accept.
Yeah,
So
that's huge.
what else? What else? Like hello, he's like one of the best players in the world. So
Baelena, where can people find you?
you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok and on Twitch. By Baeleena. It has 3 E's after the L.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for this episode 15 of Talking with T. Baelina, thank you so much for being on the show, and to everybody watching, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a comment below, like and subscribe as well. To all the men watching the show, appreciate you guys. To all the women that are watching the show, I appreciate you as well. I hope that we all learn from this episode and that we all grow together towards a more healthy environment. And I'm really happy that you were down to do this, Bailey. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. I'll until next time on Talking with T. Goodbye.